This the story of crypto blood and truth blitz. Ask them if Cliff High what the truth is. They was just talking about the blockchain. That's when they heard Janet yelling and the cops came. They said, give me all your Bitcoin and lock aim. Then Jamie Dimon showed up and the shots rained. So they hopped in the Lambo and took off fast. Welcome to the Block Party Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Block Party Podcast, Episode 5, Part 1. I'm Truth Blitz.
And it's your boy Crypto Blood. And we have today my man Ozzy The BS Filter. This is one of my favorite episodes so far on the Block Party Podcast. We talked about, will cryptos replace the fiat system? We talked about Bitconnect. And we also talked about Cliff High, which was, you'll see in Part 2, but it was amazing. That was hilarious, man. But guys, enjoy this episode with Ozzy The BS Filter, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, ladies and gents, without further ado, got my man Ozzy The BS Filter on the line with us. Thanks for joining us on the Block Party Podcast. Ozzy, what's up, fam?
What's up, fam? Thank you so much for inviting me, man.
Yeah, no doubt. We're very excited to have you on. As I was stating in the before we started, man, I'm like, man, I love your channel because you're like Nick and I. Your philosophy is educate the viewer, not just ICO this, pump this. How can we make money here? What's the coin of the day? We're not about that. And so I was very glad to, I don't know who linked us on Twitter. I'm aware of you because actually, first time I talked with you or met you was on 007's channel. I don't know where 007, is he still around? Is he still doing stuff?
Oh, yeah, I stopped dealing with that guy a long time ago.
Okay.
But we did a show together on his channel.
Yeah, man, this was back in July last year, man. Like, he was actually my first interview. He reached out to me. I did my interview with him, and it was with you, him, some cat over, some black dude over in UK or Germany.
Wait, was this about Bitconnect?
We touched on Bitconnect a little bit. Yep.
You know, yeah, I was only on for like a minute, and I had to come off.
Right.
Yeah, I was actually touring Dubai and Lebanon, and I took my family on a 2-month vacation, and the internet was really bad over there. But yeah, I remember now. Okay. Yeah,
so that's when I met you, and I'm like, you know, this cat is raw, he's real, and I'm about that, man. That's how we are in Detroit, man. We raw and we real, and we don't we don't hold anything back. So again, thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah, so tell us a little bit about who Ozzy The BS Filter is. Like, how did you get into Bitcoin? Just give us your whole story and how you where you are now. You got like 5,000 subs. You're banging, you know, you're doing it, man. So just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it as raw as I can. I'm an Arab who came at 2 years old with nothing, struggled in this country for a long time, and got married to the most wonderful woman in the world. She put me straight. Got to a point where I was homeless.
Wow.
Now I own 6 companies, and it's all because of me, not the surrounding, not, you know, when you get your head on straight, money's a bonus. It's a gift. It's right. You know, it doesn't really take that much to earn it once you got your head on straight. So I about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I was diagnosed with a mass in my lung. Mm-hmm. And in the emergency room, they said you got a 3 centimeter circular mass in your lung, and 95% it's cancer. So that gave a heart attack to the house. I mean, it just devastated the family. They put me in the hospital, and in the room, there's another guy next to me who also was diagnosed with that, and he had Fox News on. And I was in no mood, you know, but they started talking about Bitcoin. So I grabbed my phone. I need to change my mindset. I grabbed my phone and I Googled Bitcoin, and I start, you know, I've heard a lot about it before, but never really gave it any credence or anything. So I started Googling it, and I didn't sleep that night or the next night. And by the time I was in there for 7 days. By the time I left the hospital, I had spent $25,000 on crypto. I had ordered on eBay about $25,000 worth of miners for a Litecoin farm. So, that's how much I loved it, and the reason what I love about it is the power of it. See, a lot of people don't understand. Everybody thinks of crypto as a get rich quick, or no, crypto is the blockchain and crypto as a currency is gonna give us our power back that we've lost to corporations, to government, to I'm sick and tired of getting fucked, and now we finally have the tool, not the weapon, the tool to get everything back. Now, the problem is we're so fucking greedy that we have this tool in our hand, and we're really slowly sticking our dick in it and fucking it all up.
Yeah.
And if it's going to need me, you, all of us, and more YouTubers to educate on what crypto is to us and what it could mean for our future and our kids' future and the way the world was going now, we need this. We need this. We need to do it right. We need to get it in line. And we can inflation, taxation, currency manipulation, regulate. It's miserable. And with crypto, that it solves all that. It solves everything.
Yep. 100%.
And that, that's just what my passion behind it is. And that's why I do not put links on my channel. I do not talk about coins. I don't sit there and say, what I bought today? I don't do that. You will never hear. If you want to hear about how to get rich, I'm the wrong channel for you. Right. If you want to know how to build wealth, then you're in the right place.
Well, right on, man. I love that philosophy, and that's totally why when that person on Twitter reached out and told me, you should have Ozzy on, I'm like, oh, for sure. I don't know why I didn't even think of having you on. You talked about cryptos, the real reason behind cryptos, right? And that really resonated with me when I was out at the Bitcoin conference in Miami, man. And I'm sure you know who Jeff Burek is. He
Dollar Vigilante.
Yeah, he did a speech. He talked there. He was actually the last keynote speaker there for the last day, and that's what he was saying to everyone, like, yo, this is not about getting rich. Yes, making money from this is good and will happen, but dude, you gotta remember why this whole crypto thing came about. So, I see a lot of people in the space really inviting the government in, trying to comply, and just line up with the taxes and all that. And they feel like having more of the government in the space makes it a valid thing. And it's actually the opposite.
It didn't get to the price it got at now because the government likes it.
Right.
It got to the price it is because the government hates it.
Exactly.
It's an enemy of if I can give a quick example.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
So let's say you've saved up $100,000. You're 50 years old. You got $100,000 in the bank, and you're like, good. I'm good for my retirement, which might be semi-true. But that 100 grand when you hit 70 years old is not going to buy you a quarter of what it bought you when you first got it 20 years ago.
And tell them why, Ozzy. Tell them why.
Because our system is built to constantly rape us at every which way. Yep. So what they do is they constantly print money. It is unseen in history. So they constantly print money because they get into stupid wars and stupid. That's a whole other subject. But anyway, so they constantly printing money, which gives it less value. So, for example, a car, just a regular 4-door car, in the 60s and 70s was like $3-4 grand.
Yep.
15, 20 grand. Why? The material is the same. Everything is just about the same. But because
inflation, man.
Inflation, yeah.
We print so much money that prices have constantly keep going higher. Inflation, and then you add taxation. They tax everything. That like gas, for example, is what, $3. $2.50 of it is taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, true.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So, and crypto solves that because you keep a couple Bitcoin for your retirement. You could possibly take out a little bit from that every year and stay the same value.
Right. Yeah. I use that same, instead of using the card, man, I use a Snickers bar, a candy bar. When I talk to people, it's the same thing. I say, your grandparents, you know, the candy bar was 20 cents, 10 cents, right? It's not $2.50, $3 today just because. It's a reason. You know, it takes more of that dollar to buy that candy bar. So totally, man. You want to chime in, Nick?
Yeah. I mean, I think we both recently talked about this, probably within the last 2 weeks, separately on our own channels about, you know, what is the reason that you got into crypto in the first place? You know, because there are a lot of people who got in simply because they saw how much prices were going up. They're hearing about it on CNBC. They're hearing about it on Bloomberg, and they had that FOMO bug, and they want to make money. But to me, the money is just it's a bonus. It's like a side effect. You know, like I started hearing about Bitcoin back in its infancy. I mean, within the first probably year and a half that it was out, I didn't get any at that point, but you know, that 2007, 2008 financial crisis really woke a lot of people up to the bullshit system that we're in. So, you know, that is why Bitcoin was created. So, you know, we need something like Ozzy said that's going to get us out of that system. And, you know, the governments and the banks are fighting it, but it was Max Kaiser who said this recently. I think he said this at the World Economic Forum in Davos. I think he said that, you know, it's too late to stop this revolution. You guys might have had a chance to stop it 5 years ago. But we're too far into this now, so there's no stopping this.
You know, it's funny you mentioned Davos. It was the most talked about thing there. And as far as why banks hate it and why governments hate it, governments hate anything they cannot cease.
Yeah,
they cannot foreclose on. They cannot take. For example, if you use a brain wallet, which I don't suggest you use unless you have a very good experience with it, your money is in your brain. It's in your mind. Imagine a bank account in your brain. It's untouchable.
Yep.
So, for example, I have a few Bitcoin like that in my brain. So if I were to get arrested, anything, I have access to that money in my head. They cannot take it. They can take all the trésors they want. They can take you cannot cease it. Now that also has side effects. For example, terrorism, drugs, but it needs 100 years to get to the level of the dollar. The dollar is the most used for criminals. And Antonios Annalopoulos said, Andres, criminals is what makes things popular. Like they were the first one to use the car. They used guns. I mean, you know, so they bring stuff to light. I mean, really, the car when it came out, they were robbing banks with it. It made it very easy. We didn't ban cars.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
Yeah. So, the government had a lot of reasons. The blockchain is their worst enemy. The currency is just a little thing. The blockchain, which I advocate to get into government, this is what I want the blockchain. I want the fucking blockchain in the White House. Now, some of it can stay secret. Some of it is open. This ledger doesn't have to be public. But when shit goes down and we got to go back in history and see something,
it's all
that blockchain cannot be erased. It cannot be deleted. No more fucking Russia probes, witch hunts. No more none of this. The blockchain, no more spending like that. Like right now, there's $3 trillion missing from the Pentagon.
Yep.
The last time there was money missing in the Pentagon,
9/11, wasn't it?
9/11.
Yep.
A lot of people don't know. At the same time that 9/11 happened, there was a $6 trillion
Yep.
Missing from the Pentagon being investigated.
Yep.
Building 7 and the part of the Pentagon that was hit
Yep.
is where
Had
all
the
the
records.
banking.
Yep.
Yeah. So again, that's not proof. That's not evidence, but
It's a big
head
fucking
scratcher, that's
coincidence.
for sure.
Oh yeah. So, do you think that we will get to the point where, do you think cryptocurrencies will replace fiat or exist alongside fiat?
I'm going to answer this one in a lengthy way, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So, no fucking senator in the world is going to bring a package to vote on that says, let's bring the blockchain and the currency in real life. No one is, because they won't make any money anymore. They can't rob us. It has to start with us. First, we have to clean up this fucking mess. Bitconnect, all these different coins, the shit coins, they all got to go.
Mm-hmm.
ICOs, we got to build a system for them to where only legit ones get filtered through.
Right.
It's got to start with us, me, you, and we got to go to our cities and say, I want to get in and I want to be a council member. And then from there, we move to higher government, because nobody is going to bring in the blockchain into government except for us. So we need this younger generation that is into them start getting into government slowly. And once there's enough of us in there, we can then bring in digital currency and the blockchain, the ledger, into government. And then that's when you'll see waste will stop. It will just cease to exist. Because now every time they're going to do something, they'll be like, wait a minute, this is going on the blockchain. I don't want to be part of it. No more wasteful spending, no more errors, no more mistakes, no more inflation. We know what's getting printed. And guess what? I will mine that government blockchain for free. And I'm sure all of us would help mine that, where we get the power back. And then once we all have that ledger, imagine voting on there, where the blockchain will tell you, no, you can't vote yet because you're not a citizen.
Right.
You already voted yesterday in a different county.
Right. Yeah.
I just imagine how life so much easier it can be, where everything is connected through a blockchain.
Andreas Antonopoulos talked about this years ago, man. Like back when I got into Bitcoin, a lot of the concepts or a lot of the things that we see in blockchain today, I don't know if he was the originator as far as the concepts themselves, but I remember him talking about brain wallets as, something that could be done. I remember him talking about blockchain being used as a form of a voting system. So I think we're inching closer and closer to that as the days go by, man. And like you said, it's a pervasive type of thing. It's going to happen slowly but surely. It's more of a social transition socially. The younger people who are hip to cryptocurrencies, to blockchain, to decentralization. As those individuals, as we get older and we get into those positions and replace a lot of these corrupt older individuals, I think the change is going to come for sure.
Yeah. But here's the problem, but we have to clean it up. Right now, it is the most toxic space in the world. Nobody owns Bitcoin, by the way, anymore. Everybody owns alts. And they calculate their Bitcoin by how much alts they have in Bitcoin. Nobody owns Bitcoin anymore. Most of the Bitcoin in the world is all on exchanges. Everybody owns alts now. They're waiting for that next 20x, 30x, and then they'll sell it back to Bitcoin and then go buy more alts. We need to get back to hodling, to holding, to just owning Bitcoin or I'm not a maximalist. I own several cryptocurrencies that I believe in.
Okay, I was going to ask you. Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, what do you feel about the current state of Bitcoin? I don't know how long you've been in the game, but to me, the current form of Bitcoin, meaning Bitcoin Core, BTC, is there are some issues, man, and I would love to get your take on that. What do you think of Bitcoin as it stands right now? Is it a currency?
Okay.
Is it an asset? What is it to you?
It is, well, let me just start. So Bitcoin is very easy to use once you get it. Mm-hmm. But grandma and grandpa and uncle will look at an address and be like, what the fuck is this? I don't understand. I understand a 10-digit account number at Bank of America. I don't understand. So our development team, because they're so fucking bright, they're coming up with lightning networks and all this shit to where nobody can fucking understand what. I mean, I try to study lightning network as much as I still don't understand what it's for. Like, what is the end goal of it? We're not ready for it. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. We're not ready for it. Well, we need ease of use. Mm-hmm, we need that our kids, our older people, and Bitcoin. If you're in your 40s, you're old in Bitcoin. I mean, because crypto is just for like millennials and less. So we need ease of use. We need to get people to learn how to use it. We need to find a solution to the 40-digit address. We need to find it to where we can where we can give one person an address, they can have that forever and learn how to, just ease of use. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
So that is our first goal. Now, in the development world, it's not. They don't give a fuck about that. They're caring. They care about creating new technology for it to make more money.
Right.
So I get a little bit of what Roger Ver says. I get. I don't. I fucking hate him.
Right.
I think he's doing it all wrong. He's a complete dick. But you're right. It is slow, and it is. It'll never be a currency the way it is now. But neither is Bitcoin Cash, because Bitcoin Cash, as soon as it starts to have the transactions that Bitcoin has, it's going to do this. It's going to right. What's so special about that one? We need to get the technology in the right direction to where we can make this. Now, what is the difference between a currency and a asset? To me, nothing. There's no difference. They're both spendable. So now gold would lead more to an asset because it's not that easy to liquidate and purchase. But Bitcoin can be both simultaneously, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't have to be one or the other. It can be both.
Well, that's the thing. You're right. In this digital crypto age, you have the barrier, or I don't know what you want to call it. The difference is blended. It's not like you have currency and then you have gold or any precious metals. Nowadays with the crypto thing, it kind of blends itself together, and it's kind of hard, it's ambiguous to really say when one is an asset and when one is is a currency. They really can be both, like you said. It's just that.
Look, you want it. I'm sorry to interrupt. But
no, go ahead.
You want it to be an asset? Good. Put it on a hard wallet.
Yep.
And put it in a safe deposit box somewhere, and now it's an asset. Mm-hmm. You want to spend it? Put it in a little bit in a hot wallet.
Yeah.
Now it's a currency.
Right.
It doesn't have to be. Now, also, there's this thing where, how are you going to buy a cup of coffee with Bitcoin? You don't have to buy a cup of coffee with Bitcoin. There's Litecoin. What's wrong with Litecoin? Right. Litecoin is an excellent coin. Mm-hmm. It's an excellent coin for coffee, for shopping, for the wife, It's perfect for supermarkets. As long as it stays under $1,000, I think it is the perfect coin for spending, to be a more of a currency type coin. And it's got a great face behind it. Charlie Lee's a great person.
Yeah,
he is honest. I mean, he takes a beating and keeps going. I like the anonymity of crypto. even though I really like, I don't do anything illegal to have to care about whether it's a private coin or not. You know, everything I do is like anybody else does, you know. So I don't really care about the privacy part like some people do. But why not? Why does it have to be completely anonymous? It doesn't. You know, like for example, they're forking right now Bitcoin private.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I heard about that.
Okay, now we already have a fork of Bitcoin that's private. It's called Bitcoin Dark.
Yeah.
Well, not only that though, Ozzy, you can have like the Bitcoin protocol has in its protocol, it has the capabilities for it to do transactions in a private way. So I don't understand, and so that's what we kind of come back to. We kind of come back to, Ozzy, the whole thing about there are too many coins. There are so many people trying to just get rich. It's a money grab, and this it needs to change, bro. It really needs to change.
We need more people to get educated. Like for example, I have buddies that are throwing money at me. Please buy me this coin, buy me that coin. I was like, okay, why do you want me to buy it for you? You know, I do a little vetting. Oh man, because I heard it's gonna double in price. And then, oh, I want you to sell it. No, you're not doing this for that. You're not. This is not why you should be getting into it. Allow me to teach you about it, and you go into it slowly, and then you can start putting in some money. That's the problem. The space, Facebook, every ad started on my wall is about a coin, about an ICO. Twitter has become ICO heaven, coin of the day heaven.
Yeah.
You know, I got invited into a Discord the other day, which every 2 hours they pump a coin. Every 2 hours, the coin that's gonna pump, and all these people are fucking waiting. And I get in there and I'm like, do you guys understand what the fuck you're doing? Do you know that you might make a couple bucks, but the 90% of you guys are going to be bag holders?
Yep.
Do you know the guys that are giving you that coin are buying it up?
Right. They already bought it.
Yeah, and then once I said, what the fuck are you guys? And then I after about 3 sentences, I get banned, obviously.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, man. People need to really like learn more about why this all started and the significance of it, because this isn't like to the three of us, this isn't just about making money. Although I don't work a full-time job anymore. I make my money in the crypto space, so I'm definitely not opposed to making money by cryptos.
But that's earning, but that's different. That you're earning money in crypto. You're basically being paid for the job that you do.
You're doing the right thing.
Right.
You're not creating ICOs and shutting down after you sell out. You're investing. You're doing the right things. You're not out there pumping a coin every day. No. I own several coins. When they go up, I sell a small amount. And get my profit out, and no. Don't misunderstand. We're talking about the get rich quick schemes, the Bitconnects, the lending crap that almost destroyed the whole space. That we don't even know the effects of it yet. You know what I'm expecting? Any morning, I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna go on YouTube, and I'm gonna hear 150 people got arrested in a mass sweep.
Oh yeah, I could see it. For sure.
Because here's the thing: in the United States, anything you advertise, it can be considered a security. Not just securities, anything. You can sell cups of coffee, and if you're not properly licensed to, you're breaking a law. Yeah. And if you think the district attorney's office is not going to find a way where promoting Bitconnect is a crime, you're out of your fucking mind. They live for this shit. They jack off to this shit.
Yeah. Especially these ones, especially these guys who got, 100,000 or 75,000 subscribers and are paying for ads for their channels and
Oh yeah,
go ahead and say the names, Nick. You know,
the Craig Grants, the Trayvon,
Nick,
a 17-year-old
Nick. Yeah, Crypto Nick. That's the other one.
17-year-old fucking kid helped people lose their houses.
Yeah,
right.
So
exactly.
It's funny, man. It's crazy, Ozzy. I was talking to Nick about this. I was like, "Yo, what is going on in this space, man? Like, when does a person, a grown person, listen to a 17-year-old about anything?
Graduate high school yet?
Let alone financial advice.
Right. But I'm saying people are thinking financial advice from a kid in high school. Like, what? In what world? You know?
When Bitconnect went down, I got comments, emails, messages, Twitter, Facebook, people crying. One guy wanted to commit suicide. Families getting divorced. I mean, that day I was heartbroken. I mean, and I'm not innocent. I was in it. I put in a little bit of money and just to, you know, to fuck around. I can afford to. I mean, I know what I can afford and what I can't afford.
Right.
And I got into it way back in August, you know, with $1,000 just to see, you know, if this shit real. I'm gonna keep reinvesting and doing all this stuff, and I did, and it worked. Yep. But I knew what's going on.
Correct. So you know, to me, Ozzy, there are two different people in this whole Bitconnect situation. You've got people like you who, hey, I'm just throwing a little money at it. It's high risk. I know what this is about. Let me see if I can get my principal out plus some. That's cool, you know, if someone chooses to do that. But then you have the other people who are following the crypto Nicks, the Trayvons, the Craig Grants, thinking that they're going to become rich from this, and don't understand that it's just simply a Ponzi scheme, and it needs more money coming in than it's paying out, or it will fail. So,
right,
you know,
well, the problem I'm having with it is not the complaints, it's not the money lost, is the outcome of the shutdown. You see, we haven't seen the true damage Bitconnect has done.
Why do you say that?
We got lawsuits right now. We got district attorneys' offices. We got FBI. We got I don't know what they call that, international
Interpol.
Interpol. So we don't know the outcome of the true damage of what this did. We might not know it for another 6 months or so. Now, this is the kind of excuse governments were waiting for to bring down the hammer, and we just handed it to them on a silver platter. That's what I'm saying when I say we need to clean up the space. The space is toxic. The hatred. You know, the word scam gets thrown around like candy.
Or FUD, the word FUD, right?
FUD, yeah,
FUD. I don't use that word lightly, only because I've owned businesses that have failed. Right. In the crypto world, a business that fails is automatically a fucking scam.
Exactly.
No, that's not fair. It's not true. It's wrong.
Yep.
Just because an ICO came out and it tried and failed does not mean it was a scam. Now, there's where me and Tone Vase, we disagree on it all the time. Tone Vase, anything but Bitcoin is a pure and utter scam. No. There is true businesses out there. Now, some of them are not the best ideas, which I would not buy into.
Right.
But I know they're going to fail because it's a bad business. I'm a businessman. I mean, I think I have a site for it.
Yep.
But it doesn't mean their intent was a scam.
Right. Yeah, same here, man. I run a few businesses now. I've had many businesses in the past. People just don't understand. And so now, like, I see why a little bit, I see why they have what we call like qualified investors, right? You must have X amount of net worth to invest in certain assets or companies and stuff like that. I understand that because you've got kids, you got crypto nicks in chat rooms or not even just age wise, just people that don't understand business, how things go, how business cycles work, how the failure rate of businesses. They don't understand that stuff, man.
So here's what needs to happen. We need people like me and you guys getting involved in the business side of it. But I will not risk my 6 companies to an unregulated market. So if I was to open a exchange, which I know I would make a fucking badass one that people would absolutely fucking love, that actually answers the phone and answers questions and helps people that like a true business should be.
Right.
But I don't want to get arrested like the guy from BTCE.
Yeah.
So you know, that's the problem. The true business people will not risk what they've built all their life to go to prison.
Yeah.
That's one thing. So we need more business people running these businesses, because we got people that have never run a fucking business in their life, running exchanges, running lending sites, running and by the way, in the future, just so the lending sites will be back, but they will be back a lot better, where they're actually really truly investing that Bitcoin that you give them into real projects out there, into real life businesses. Like, what's wrong with if a real site, for example, where it took Bitcoin and it bought apartments and rented them out, or it bought land and built things, that will happen in the future, but they don't need to have a coin.
Right.
They don't need an ICO, you know. Right. So, but anyways, or they could have, but it would be more open, where you'd actually know who the owner is, and you know what they're doing. Go visit a site where they're building something, you know. Or the guy would be like, you know what, I want to buy a casino in Las Vegas. I need 300,000 Bitcoin. Let's do it. You will have real blending sites in the future when more regulation comes down and more trust can go down, where somebody like me is willing to risk $10-15 million of other people's money and my money to do a project. But
so back in the day when I got into Bitcoin, there was a lending site. Do you remember BTC Jam? Do you remember them?
No.
Okay. They're no longer around. I don't know what happened, but they seem to what you're talking about. It sound, you know, they were doing something like that, but I don't know what happened with them. But I do remember BTC Jam. Anyone out there, just drop a line in the comments below about that if you guys remember BTC Jam.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with investing your Bitcoin as long as the place is a responsible. First, they can secure your Bitcoin. They're not going to just put it in a hot wallet like the dumb fucks in Japan who lost 500,000 NEM.
How, man? On a hot wallet.
A $500 million in a hot wallet? I won't put $1,000 in a hot wallet.
Right.
Yeah, that's just
in one hot wallet.
What do we know, right? So we need to clean up the space. Back to that. We need to clean up the space. We need better business people running the thing. We need to learn customer service. It doesn't exist in this space.
No.
You cannot pick up a phone and get a question answered in not one business.
Yeah, and that's, you know, I think there a lot of these. I think that's really prominent in the startup community, in the tech community. They try to follow that whole Google way of running customer support, but many fail at that. You know, it's very hard to run your business like Google does, as far as no phone calls, no numbers, really.
You're not giving Google your money, though. When you get to a point where you're buying advertising through Google, believe me, there's a phone number.
Yeah, there is. You're right. Yep.
Yeah, but when you're giving money to any kind of site to hold, regardless of an exchange, whatever, there should be customer support where I don't need to wait 48 hours to get a response. Yeah. Liqui, that exchange, Liqui, I think it's pronounced Liqui.
Liqui.io or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I sent 2 Ethereum to it. This is a few months back. And I sent it from a TOS wallet. I don't know if you guys have heard of TOS. It's actually a pretty good coin. Yeah. They pay every 3 quarters what they. It's a fund. So I got paid 2 Ethereum for my quarterly thing, and I sent them to Liqui. Now, they sent it.
You're talking about, is it Taz?
Taz. T-A-S.
Oh yeah, Taz. Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, so that's a good coin.
Oh yeah. They pay almost $1 per coin every quarter.
Wow. So I gotta look into that. Go ahead though.
But they sent it in a closed transaction as opposed to an open transaction. So Liqui, whatever, couldn't read it. So I didn't get my Ethereum in there. So I sent them a message. 3 days, nothing. I sent them another message. I went to their Telegram. I went all over the place. It took 45 days to get my 2 Ethereum. Now, why? Now, at Bank of America or any of these banks, they usually solve your problem in a day, less than a day.
Yeah.
You know, not even.
Let me play devil's advocate. Do you think it's because the community, the environment, the industry is growing at such a fast pace that these companies don't have the infrastructure? They can't grow as fast as the demand is placed on them. What do you think about that?
Well, okay, and I agree. That's probably it. So what do? You put a cap and you stop taking new customers,
like Binance did, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Bitconnect and a few.
And Bitrix did.
You just stop.
Yeah.
In the state of, I own a chain of auto insurance. In the state of California, in order to sell insurance, you got to put up $20 million right away, and you can't touch that money. So then you start charging people a premium, and you pay out for accidents. Now you can only, your first couple of years, you can only sell up to that $20 million worth of insurance. You cannot sell past that, and then they'll let you double it after 2 years without adding any. So you got to build your reputation.
Right.
You can't just sell $1 billion and then go run with it. No.
Right.
So in the space is no different. There's got to be, listen, I understand everybody hates the word regulation. If we're not going to self-regulate, then we need to create our own legislative body and put people that we trust in it to have, like, for example, a Congress for crypto, if you will, where we elect it, we are in charge of it, we fund it. There's got to be
possible, man. It's possible, Ozzy. It is, and that's the way. It's going to have to be that way. But
I don't want the government doing it.
I don't either.
I want self-regulation.
Yeah. It's such a new space, man. It's going to be. We'll get there. I think we'll get there where we have what do they call them, Nick? Autonomous organizations, or whatever.
Let me ask you a question, brother. You're saying we're going to get there. You keep saying that. I have to disagree with you. Now, how many YouTubers are like me, you, and Nick?
Very few. Very few.
Why do you think that is?
Because I personally think because a lot of the YouTubers and stuff are amateurs. They're new. They're not. They haven't run businesses. They don't know business. So I think as this community grows and matures, I think we'll start to see more serious people enter the space. That's just my personal opinion about it. I don't know.
Nick, you wanna throw something in there?
I think a lot of are you talking about YouTubers?
Yeah, YouTubers that advocate the real reason behind crypto. Why there's so little of them.
I think, first of all, I think money gets the people very fast, and they see their channel as a way to make money, and that ends up coming before morals. You know what I mean?
Beautifully said, Nick. Beautifully said.
And one other thing, as far as pertaining to YouTubers, I think a lot of them got in the last year and some change, so they've been spoiled by the performance of cryptocurrencies in the last year and a half. Okay, so they weren't around when I was telling Nick, and we talk about this all the time. They weren't around in 2015 when Bitcoin was at $250 for the whole year. $200, $250, somewhere, it traded around there. They weren't there then. So they're getting in at such a explosive period in cryptocurrencies, man. I think they have a jaded view of what cryptocurrencies are.
I have to agree with that.
Yeah. All right, people, there you have it. Episode number 5, part 1 with Ozzy the BS Filter. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I surely did. Nick surely did. And if you want to see part 2, you got to jump over to the Block Party Podcast YouTube channel. There should be a link on your screen right now. So get over there. When it's available, you'll see it there and only there. Holla.